there's no place like home for the holidays. And no matter how far away you roam, if you pine for the sunshine of a friendly gaze, for the holidays you can.
Welcome back to Horror for the Holidays, a Christmas horror movie podcast. I'm Jay Logsden.
And I'm Jeff Searcy.
And here we are, Jeff. It's the new year.
It is.
New year, new us. No, same podcast.
Yeah, same us, same podcast.
same stupid, bad podcast.
The only thing that's gaining any kind of traction around here is our waistline.
Ooh, topical.
Yeah, boy. Well, you know what, Jay? For that, you might have to export me to a different country.
Well, I mean, now I'm going to refer to whenever I have to export the podcast to the MP3 format. I'm going to call it a rare export because we talked about 2010's rare exports. Let's deck the halls.
Yeah, you didn't tell me there would be fins, Jay.
You have the appearance of a Laplander.
I suppose I'm fine because I'm white. You appear to have the blood of a Laplander.
Oh, Pierce's dad. Released December 3rd, 2010 in Finland, and then it got a smaller kind of, festival releases kind of around the country. But December 3rd, right in that sweet spot.
Yeah, perfect time for a Christmas horror movie for sure.
Directed by, oh boy, I apologize to every single person I'm going to slaughter the name of in this movie.
Hjalmari Highlander.
Or Highlander. And co-written with his brother Juuso. They appear to be Finnish filmmakers of some renown. They've done all sorts of movies. They also did 2 short films that are kind of prequels for this.
Mm-hmm.
I watched both of them. They were both kind of cool.
Yeah, I watched the one with them hunting for the wild Santa.
That one was really good. The other one is safety instructions or something like that. And it's and so that one had some real funny moments in it as they're trying to deal with the wild Santa Clauses.
Okay.
Also, Petri Jokiranta, I have no idea, Jokiranta, and Sami Parkkinen are also credited on IMDb as dramaturge. Which seems to mean screenwriter.
I guess.
But also Pietri is listed in some places as the producer, so I'm not sure if IMDb knows what to do with the credits of this movie.
No, much like everything from a different country, IMDb just kind of lumps it all in under one category.
Our father and son protagonists, Petteri and Rauno, are real life father and son, which I thought was neat. And then his brother-in-law is Hjalmari Highlander. So I thought, so I'm keeping it in the family, but also I assume it's probably pretty hard to find a ton of actors in Finland.
Yeah, true. Well, they also had Norway to choose from, but again, you have the same problem.
The rest of the cast appears to probably be either well-known in Finland or old men who wanted to run around in the snow naked.
I mean, there's probably strong overlap between those two things.
I was going through it. There's just a list, a whole screen of just people credited as Elf. And I'm just a bunch of dudes who wanted to run around naked. Cool.
I don't know. That's pretty cold. I don't know if I want to run around naked in that kind of cold.
As we mentioned, there are 2 short films. So this is kind of a sequel, but also kind of a prequel to the 2 short films, or maybe a different interpretation on them.
Mm-hmm. I think the short films, they had the basic idea and then they kind of refined it for this.
Yeah, but one is called Rare Exports Inc. and the other is Rare Exports, the official safety instructions. Both of them, I think, findable on YouTube.
Yes.
And kind of follow a similar idea, but they tackle it in kind of a different way. Budget of 1.8 million euros, but grossed over $4 million. So I would assume a pretty good return on investment.
Not too bad.
Personal experience with this movie, Jeff?
Absolutely none. I had no idea this even existed until you decided to play it.
This is one that, I kind of the same. When I was first kind of compiling the Tubi list for you and me to start this podcast, this is one that popped up, and I watched the trailer for it because I was like, oh, like, let's see what that is. Seemed very weird. And then, I never watched it. And my only other experience is that people will occasionally like mention it on forums and stuff. And it's usually like ranked in one of the top Christmas horror movies, or usually people are asking for recommendations. And this is one that always gets thrown out there.
Well, you definitely hit the nail on the head when you said that it was going to be weird, because it is weird.
Yeah. Where to watch it at? You can get it on DVD. I have a DVD copy. You can watch it Peacock, Tubi.
The Blu-ray has some featurettes, like making of stuff, and like some. I think it also includes Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
Oh, really?
As a bonus feature, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. That might be worth tracking down. I don't know if my DVD copy has that or not, but that might be worth tracking down to find.
Definitely.
But yeah, I had quite a few places to stream it, either for, relatively cheap. I don't think Peacock is too expensive compared to other streaming services.
Not anymore. Did you see Netflix raise their prices again?
Yep. Well, and there's that new Prime $3
Yes. If you don't want to watch ads, you got to pay $3 extra. It's going to become cable again.
And then, but yeah, Tubi has it, and like I said, I think there's one or two others that still have that are free that have it, and so you can find it lots of places. And we'll certainly talk about it at the end, but it's worth tracking down, I think.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's at least watch it once, see if you like it.
Anything else you wanna?
No, honestly, I did not get as much information as I thought I would about the making of this, because it was really well received critically, and it was a hit as far as I can tell. So it's kind of weird that they don't have more information about the making of it.
No, if I had more, if I had more time, I probably would have watched the special features. Just didn't have the time to do it. But yeah, I mean, it's my one thought when I was going through is I'm like, oh, there's like maybe 5 other like European that aren't English like Christmas horror movies, and I'm like, maybe someone involved in this was involved in like Deadly Games or Day of the Beast or Calvare or something, but or Sint, but I couldn't really find any overlap. So I just kind of looked through, didn't see anything, and I went, all right, this is its own thing.
Yep. Much like Finland, Jay, this is its own thing.
All right, well, we'll dive into our synopsis here. A little countdown starts off, an advent calendar of sorts, 24 days till Christmas. We'll learn later that they're actually counting down till Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
But, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. A miner shows our Richard Hammond-esque benefactor character what he found as in like their mining operation. He found like 65 feet of sawdust or something like that.
He spared no expense to excavate this mound, Jay.
And yeah, they're up on top of like a giant mountain. And he's like, "You've got to dig deeper." They used wood as a refrigeration technique back in ancient times.
It's the sawdust to keep the ice from melting.
And so he's like, "Well, we're already in the process of digging deeper." And there's like a loud explosion outside or whatever.
Let's just clear this up real quick. The American and British research team are the bad guys.
Yeah. We get him like going outside and like we said, Richard Hammond-esque. Like he stands in front of everybody wearing like I would say like a Richard Hammond hat.
He's got his hat, his cane. He's doing the whole thing.
He even does like the pose, like he kind of.
And he's just openly like, "Yes, this is an ancient burial mound. We need to plunder."
He also hands out new safety instructions that have things like no cursing, no smoking, and washing behind their ears. Yep. Which, like, the head miner is like, what the hell is this?
He's like, oh, yeah, I'm sure a bunch of roughneck miners are going to follow these rules.
Pietri and Juso watch kind of from, like, behind a crate. They've snuck onto the base as... the Richard Hammond character informs us that the mountain was actually a burial mound, and they have 24 days to dig up what's inside of it. Pietri and Juso leave the site. They sneak through a hole that they put in the fence, and somehow Pietri has already deduced that this has something to do with Santa Claus.
Yep, apparently.
Which
he just assumes.
Juso doesn't believe in Santa, and then an explosion happens in the background on the mountain.
See, Juso is like a combination of two characters from Dial Code Santa Claus. He has the look and like attitude of the main character, but he has the skepticism of the friend.
Yeah, of the fat Jay and Jeff friend.
It's the big J energy friend.
Trips falling off his bike. We then get a montage of Pietri reading books about the truth about Santa Claus, a lot of like images that I think is maybe kind of like Krampus inspired. My kind of thought was maybe a little more like this is like ancient wild man of the woods Santa.
Yeah, it's because Finland, I know you mentioned it before, they claim that they're the origin of Santa Claus, but a lot of places also claim that.
Right.
But no, they're more of like a wild man Santa, kind of like more he doesn't reward you for being good. He pretty much just punishes you for being bad.
There's a village in Finland. This is an aside that claims to be like Santa's hometown. I don't know if that's where the soccer team FC Santa Claus is based out of. But you can year round, you can like click on a live video feed from their town square and just kind of like watch and stuff like. And I think they play Christmas music. I want to go and check that out sometime.
There is, if you're interested, there is a lot of Christmas-based like Finnish folklore you can get into.
I'm no Al Ridenhour or Benito Cereno or Craig Kringle. So I don't know a ton about Christmas folklore. Certainly not as much as those guys. I more just listen to their podcasts.
I got a book as a gift a couple years ago about like Finnish legends and myths, and there's a few Santa Claus ones in there.
Oh, very cool. So yeah, we cut down. We now get 1 day till Christmas on the countdown, but as we said, it's actually 2 days till Christmas.
This is the Christmas Eve reindeer hunt.
We see Pietri's dad building a like pit trap for, I assume, like wolves, like wild wolves.
Yeah, they mentioned that wolves have been basically the mining at the burial mound has been disturbing a pack of wolves, and they've moved closer to the village than they normally would be.
Yeah, so he's built a pit, put a bunch of stakes in the bottom, and then covered it with snow and leaves, and baited it with a pig's head,
which we'll find out is illegal.
He goes to wake up Pietri, who fell asleep, sat at his window keeping watch. He puts some tape on the door on the 24th day of his advent calendar door.
Yeah.
Before looking out his window and seeing footprints in the snow on the roof.
He doesn't do a very good job, though, because you could clearly still open that thing.
Yep. Pietri and his dad go to meet up with the other citizens of the town for the roundup, as they call it. Juso asks Pietri's dad for a smoke, which I just thought was really funny, and that was kind of the moment where I'm like, oh yeah, he's the kid from Deadly Games.
Yeah. His dad's just like, go find your dad.
Only 2 reindeer show up, and they're like runts. They're like little reindeer,
super scrawny.
To like kind of their fenced-in, electrified enclosure. I assume it's like both to keep the reindeer in and to keep the wolves out.
Yeah.
So they kind of know something is wrong. So all the men kind of go out to go search for them. They arrive outside the gate from earlier in the movie where the operation was taking place and discover a whole herd of reindeer slaughtered. I think it's like 100 some reindeer or something like that.
Yeah.
Pietri realizes that this is their fault because of the hole that they cut in the fence.
Well, they think it's their fault.
Right.
Anyway.
Pietri finds a bare human footprint next to one of the deer carcasses, similar to what he saw up on the roof of his house.
Well, and this is also during this sequence they establish that his dad doesn't think very much of him because he's not like the tough kind of son like the other guys have. Mm. He's one of those intellectual types we don't care for much around here, Jay.
The men break into the compound and find try and find out what is going on. But the entire like mining operation is abandoned. Mm-hmm. There's like a big hole in the middle of the ground, so they're like they dug something out of here.
They definitely excavated something, but yeah, there's nothing to be found. But strangely, I was wondering, it's like, so did they all die because they left like all their equipment behind?
Right. It does look like they
were either taken or killed or something.
Yeah, but yeah, they're not all gone as we'll learn later. But yeah, there's like. The doors are wide open and there's like snow everywhere.
Well,
there's like
still drilling equipment and stuff out there.
I think there's even like radios that are still on and stuff like that. Pietri finds like a map or like an inside of the the mountain range, like some kind of...
it's like ground penetrating sonar that they use to find buried stuff.
Yep, and there's some kind of like big ice block in the middle of the mound. Back at their house, Pietri's dad prepares a ham for dinner as Pietri tells Juso what he discovered about the real Santa Claus, how he tore naughty kids to pieces, and that the Sami people lured him out onto the ice and it broke underneath him, freezing him in place, and then they built the mountain basically on top of him.
Yeah, made sure that he would stay frozen forever.
Yep.
But yes, oddly, this is another thing that stuck out to me. The dad puts the ham in the oven when he goes to bed, and then he's going to get it out when he wakes up in the morning and is surprised that it's burnt.
Maybe it's an old Finnish tradition. I don't know. After Juso leaves, Pietri and his dad kind of have a little bit of heart-to-heart about what's going on, and we learned that like at some point in time recently, I think the mother passed away.
Yeah.
Because like the gingerbread cookies taste like the ones Mom used to make. Mm-hmm. And I think he even asks like, if his dad's mad at him or something like that, and his dad's like, no, I couldn't be, or something like that.
Oh, he will be in a little bit when he finds that bear trap in the chimney.
Right. Pietri falls asleep, keeping watch out over the window of the farm. And like, just like his head falls right against the glass. Yeah. At this storage site, Mr. Green, who was the head miner from earlier, is talking to like the rich benefactor over like a walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
That whatever's in the ice is not what he thinks, and that it still has a pulse. He is told to follow safety instructions, and Mr. Green responds with, "Fuck your safety instructions," and suddenly all the workers vanish, and then Mr. Green is like standing there staring at a footless or shoeless foot, like standing in the snow staring at him.
Yep.
And that's the end of that scene as we get 0 days till Christmas.
And then you get the classic Mr. Riley on the other end of the walkie-talkie going, "Are you there? Are you there?"
So the next morning, while trying to get a fire going, Pietri's dad triggers the bear trap that Pietri
left at the foot of the chimney to catch Santa.
Yeah, in case he tried to come down the chimney.
You could have killed me. This isn't a joke.
It's so funny. He puts it in and just shit goes flying everywhere. It's so funny.
Well, that's after he goes over. He's probably mad also because this is after he's taken the ham out and seen it completely burnt.
Oh, yeah. Pietri discovers that the pig's head is missing from the trap, goes and gets his dad, and they go to investigate. And at the bottom of the pit, we see a human hand.
It's an old man.
Mr. Pippinen, the guy who earlier in the movie, Juso told Pietri...
He plays Santa.
Yeah, he's the guy who dresses up at Santa and shows up at all the kids' houses every year. Helps him get... the body inside to the I guess his dad runs like a butcher shop or something.
It's basically like his reindeer slaughterhouse, I think.
Yep. The body is wearing Mr. Green's coat and carrying his passport, but we the viewers know it's not Mr. Green.
Obviously.
And honestly, if these guys had any wits about them, they'd also realize that he's way older in real life than he is in the picture. They're probably not the same person.
That's what made me. It's like, is this supposed to be like a satire or like a parody? Because it's like, obviously that's not even close to the guy in the photo.
No, it's this bald guy with like a giant beard.
Yeah.
And like Mr. Green has like, one has hair and two has like a very like closely cropped like salt and pepper beard.
And a completely different face.
Pietri goes to investigate the hole and finds a bag with a large like wooden, I don't know, would you call it like a doll, like an idol?
Yeah,
or something.
Honestly, it's like an old tradition of making like those straw dolls in place of like your child or whatever. Mm. That's like a sacrifice, because that was a lot of pagan cultures. They used to misinterpret human sacrifices as they would actually burn like effigies of people.
The body is still breathing. And it starts to like sniff the air when Pietri like kind of gets close and looks out the window,
which is extremely odd because he's got a wound in his stomach that would literally kill anybody else.
Right. Outside, like the dad kind of turns around because like he starts sniffing. And it's like, what's he smelling? And like the head even moves, I think, towards the window, and they see Pietri. So the dad kind of gives chase after him, and Pietri like runs outside and is able to flag down the police.
I say for whatever reason he runs all the way out to the road, and then a cop picks him up.
And so the dad gets in his car and kind of gives chase after him. And the police officer or whatever kind of tells him that like he's been running around town all morning dealing with strange occurrences.
Potato sacks stolen, radiators, ovens.
All the ovens and like radiators in town have been stolen. Then Almi, I think it's Almi or Almo, one of the Juso's dad is like, yeah, he's like, I have, X number of pounds of potatoes. And he's like, oh, all your potatoes are stolen? And he's like, not exactly. And he walks in and all the potatoes are on the ground, but all the sacks are missing.
Weird.
And then Pietri goes to go check on Juso, and he finds another one of those dolls in Juso's bed in his place.
But yeah, I think it's supposed to be representing like the whole effigy tradition thing.
They convince Elmo to go with them to translate for Mr. Green, since I guess he's probably the only person in town who knows English.
Most likely, yeah, because English definitely wouldn't be common in Finland.
Back at the slaughterhouse, Mr. Pippinen taunts the body with gingerbread because it's kind of sniffing as he like munches on like a gingerbread cookie, and then it kind of lunges up at him as we cut away, and then the next time we see him, he's got like blood pouring out of the side of his face. It looks like he's missing an ear.
Yeah, he definitely got like most of his ear bitten off.
But he seems pretty calm for someone who just got his ear bitten off.
Well, he's a tough son of a bitch, Jay. And losing an ear is not going to slow me down.
The naked old man is awake, but kind of like mostly unresponsive. Like he's huddled in like the corner, like kind of in a fetal position.
Yeah, he tends to stay in like a almost catatonic state until he sees a child.
Yeah, when Pietri gets close, like he kind of stands up and starts like like looking at him and stuff like that. I believe it is at this moment, which is the first time we learned Pietri's dad is named Rauno.
Yeah,
which I thought was wild. I'm like, we're almost done with the movie and we finally learned this guy's name.
Yeah,
maybe they mentioned it earlier, but this is the first time I caught it.
They do mention it a little bit, but they usually don't use their names in the subtitles. You'll hear their name or whatever, and then the subtitles will just say whatever they're saying.
Okay.
So that could be why too.
A walkie-talkie in Mr. Green's jacket starts going off, and it's the benefactor, and he starts trying to like get a hold of Mr. Green, and so they kind of answer, and they're like, "We have your Santa Claus. We want to negotiate," or something like that. Yeah. He's like, "What?"
Yeah. We have Santa, $85,000.
They in probably one of my favorite scenes, they have the old man now dressed in Mr. Pippin's Santa Claus outfit in like a cage in the back of a truck as they're like driving.
Oh, you forgot a key detail. So, because Santa punishes bad kids, he wants his dad to spank him, and so they'd be punished because this is the point he says, it's our fault that the reindeer got killed, because they think it's the wolves still, which honestly, it's like, why do you still think it's the wolves with all this weird shit going on? But whatever. And it's like, honestly, how did they think it was the wolves in the first place? Why would wolves like mass kill an entire herd of reindeer?
Right.
They might bring down like one or two.
But I love this scene too, because it's like they're driving along kind of a mountain path. There's like a cage up on like that holds the Santa Claus, and Pietri's like in the back of the truck, and then the Santa Claus like bends down and kind of just like stares at him. It's such a cool like little image.
Very creepy.
And they arrive at the same time as like the benefactor's helicopter arrives at this compound.
It's like some kind of like either not used very often or abandoned airbase.
Yep. While they're talking, Pietri discovers Hangar 24, which kind of looks just like the big door on his advent calendar.
Yep.
The benefactor informs them that it isn't Santa, but one of his elves. And then like they start to notice like other naked old men kind of hidden in the shadows and stuff like that, watching them.
Yeah, because the Mr. Riley's like, it's one of Santa's elves. We need to be good and smile.
Yep, smile. Keep your voices down.
Because they're surrounded by the elves. Yeah.
And then like I think one of the men like does something and like gets attacked.
I think it's his pilot. Yeah. And then he and his pilot both get killed.
Yep. The benefactor gets a pickaxe to the head, which is a great kill. Probably like the only like real kill we see in the movie. But the other men kind of make their way into the hangar that Pietri had snuck into, and they discover like all the radiators and ovens in town, like heating up
Yes,
the
they're trying to thaw the ice block, which would take forever. But
heating up this giant ice block that has 2 large horns and a switch sticking out of it.
yeah,
And all the children are in bags at its feet, as I guess food for Santa to eat when he wakes up.
Yeah, since Jay, he's been in prison for God knows how long. He's probably gonna be starving.
They're kind of trying to figure out how they're going to get out of here. Pietri has a plan, and so Mr. Pippin sneaks out. Apparently, he knows how to fly a helicopter.
Yeah,
and is able to kind of distract the elves with gingerbread cookies.
get him to follow the helicopter. Yeah.
Yep. Well, to leave him alone long enough for him to get to the helicopter. They then load all the children up into the helicopter, like in a net at the bottom, and so then all the elves give chase to that.
I guess they're lucky that the elves are morons, because that's like, maybe have a couple elves chase the helicopter and the rest of you kill these guys in the hangar.
I guess it's like you said, like they're psychically commanded to get the naughty children there for Santa.
Well, and it's like clearly Santa, even though he's frozen, still has some kind of hold over them.
And so and while that's going on, Almo and Rauno drill a bunch of holes. They saw off Santa's horns, which I assume they're going to use for like carving implements and stuff like that.
Either that or his trophies.
Yeah.
Mount them on the wall.
And then they go and put a bunch of dynamite in the holes.
Yes, this is all Pietri's plan.
Yep. And so he leads. He has Mr. Pippin fly the helicopter to the reindeer herd circle area. Roundup, I guess, is what they call it earlier in the movie. And
But yeah, it's just a pin basically.
yeah, and so he like they're gonna trap him inside, but oh no, the electric fence isn't on, and oh, the gate's not open.
Yeah.
So Pietri decides to sacrifice himself. He tell my dad what I did. Climbs down as like Mr. Pippin's like try to tell him no. He goes and opens the gate.
Well, he does a pretty cool drop because he's like, I can't land the helicopter or whatever, so he just drops onto the power lines at the top
and then slides down
the tower. Yeah,
turns on the electricity and opens the gate. And he's ready to die as all these elves are making this way towards him, ready to tear him apart.
Very creepy.
As the dads drive away in this truck,
Rano finally detonates the explosives, and that breaks whatever psychic link Santa has with the elves.
and then I think the fact that like at that point, Pietri did something good, did something noble, like attempted to sacrifice himself. That made him good. And so it made up for whatever bad things he had done earlier in the year. And so like suddenly they don't notice him anymore. And then all the men are kind of standing outside at the pin, and they're like, well, what do we do now? And then we get 312 days till Christmas.
Yeah.
As they're like washing all the Santa Clauses in a shower.
Oh, and they're giving them all these, like, they're giving them a class on how to hold a kid on their lap.
Yep,
and
76 days till Christmas. They're giving them a class on how to hold children on their lap and hand them presents. And then we get 24 days. And one of the Santas is being put in a big crate marked rare exports because they did the thing.
Live cargo.
And it's going to Zanzibar.
Yeah.
And they like loaded up into a plane with a bunch of other crates.
Yeah.
And
So instead of selling reindeer meat, now they sell their Santa slaves.
yep. And then that's the end of the movie.
Oh boy.
So I figured we could, since you and I had both kind of seen them. I know we kind of mentioned it, but the two short films, I figured we could talk about those. Rare Exports Inc. is kind of a documentary about the people who like track down Santa Clauses.
Yeah.
That one was really neat, I thought. Mm-hmm. It's like these, like basically these 3 hunters, I think all played by the same men from the movie.
Yeah.
Kind of going through like the wilderness and hunting down a Santa Claus and like putting like tranquilizer darts into him as this like big fat naked guy runs through the woods. And then they get him like all ready. And I think even, I think we see some of the same classes from earlier in the movie as they're trying to train him like not to eat the child.
Yeah.
And then the other one is called like Rare Exports Official Safety Instructions, and it's basically like what happens if you break the rules, or if so, like, if you make loud noises, and so that it's like the Santa lunging at them, like if you curse, if you drink, if you smoke, like all the and there's one where it's like the Santa's in a crate, and I think the guy like curses and like takes a swig of vodka and throws it, and the Santa just bursts out of the crate and like lunges at him in midair.
Yeah.
They're both worth watching
they're
too.
Both, yeah. It's good. It's a good companion piece. I think from what I read, they are included on the Blu-ray.
Yeah, that's how I saw them. They were on the DVD that I have. But yeah, they're great. They're worth watching. So yeah, let's get into our minutia. It's a short movie. It's only about 80 minutes. So I mean,
doesn't waste any time.
It's very quick, a very easy watch. Honestly, it doesn't even feel like 80 minutes.
No,
as opposed to our last movie, Black Christmas, which
it felt like it was probably 320 minutes.
Right? Oh my gosh. Where do you want to start for this one?
Well, you know what? Let's talk about the naked elephant in the room, the naked old men. Let's talk about the costume.
Yeah, Christmas wrapping. Well, yeah, Christmas wrapping now.
Yeah,
set
wrapping.
Costume, stuff like that.
So, Jay, how much old man butt and old man dong do you want to see in a movie?
Oh my gosh! If
the answer is all of it, then you should watch Rare Exports.
Right. Oh my gosh, there is so much old man dong in this movie, just flapping in the wind.
Yeah.
I did actually really enjoy Pietri at the beginning of the movie. Like I think when we're like one day till Christmas and he's kind of keeping watch, making sure Santa doesn't get him. He goes outside wearing a sweater, a hat, boots, but then just like blue like briefs.
Yep, no pants.
It's just such a silly look.
Classic kid. Mr. Riley, he was perfect as the eccentric rich billionaire guy. Like I said, gave us very strong John Hammond vibes.
Is that his name, John Hammond?
No, his name's John Hammond's in Jurassic Park.
Oh, okay.
This guy is I know they call him Mr. Ripley.
Okay.
I don't know what his first name is.
Oh, I thought his name was Richard Hammond. That shows what I know.
No.
So I've also never seen Jurassic Park, so.
Well, I think you might be mixing, because I think his actual name is Richard Attenborough.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what, I don't know. Like I said, I've never seen Jurassic Park.
He's John Hammond. He's never seen Jurassic Park. Who is this man? But yeah, so, because I never found, all I see him credited as is either Team Leader Riley or Mr. Riley. So.
But yeah, I loved the creepy elf though, like the main one.
Mm-hmm. No, it was, I was kind of weirded out by the choice to have them be like, because they all look the same, but they're not the same. Like they all have the same style of hair and beard or whatever, but they have different body types. But yes, the way that the main one they capture in the pit acts is like super creepy.
And then I love the look. Like I said, when they put him in Mr. Pippin's Santa Claus outfit, I think that looks so cool.
That really makes it. Yeah, he's definitely the creepiest one, especially that moment you talked about earlier where he like crouches down when he's in the back of the truck in the Santa outfit and just kind of stares in through the truck window at him.
Well, and I think there's a moment too where Mr. Riley is like looking out the cage, or looking in the cage at him, and he's like, "This isn't Santa, this is one of his companions," or something like that, and his eyes glow or something like that. I thought that was a really cool scene.
Yeah.
Which one next? Do you want to do?
I like the way they set up the hangar with the giant Santa ice block and all the heaters. I thought that was pretty good.
That was really cool too. And then I think like Elmo's like, "Oh, it's my wife's hairdryer," or something like that. Like he finds it on the ground outside.
Like any sorts of heat they could get piled around this thing.
No, it's a really cool look. Like the nest, I think is what they call it. Like the nest they made.
Santa's nest.
Yeah, no, that's a great scene.
Hurry, boys, the pterodactyl eggs are hatching.
I don't know what that's a reference to.
Kiss saves Santa.
Oh,
Jay.
Darn! I thought it was a Jurassic Park reference. No. So I don't know. I've never seen it.
It could be either one, but no. I was referencing Kiss Saves Santa.
Oh, yes. Kiss Saves Santa.
Santa's held captive in a giant pterodactyl's nest.
Oh, man. Kiss Saves Santa.
Get on it, Seth MacFarlane. Just make Kiss Save Santa already.
Oh man, that'd be so good.
I mean, Gene Simmons would do it.
Yeah, they would. They're. It's not like Rush. Kiss would actually would do anything for money. Rush has standards.
They have done everything.
Yep. Except Kiss Save Santa.
Yeah, but they will. I mean, they've had 2 different outings with Scooby-Doo at this point, I think.
Well, and there was that one time they were going to perform a concert live after a WCW event, but then all the people who did like all the camera crew and all the technical people basically were going to rebel because they were like, no, we're not doing an event on New Year's Eve for you guys.
Yeah. All right, so that was the costumes and the sets. Also, just I want to say the Finnish landscape itself kind of makes things a little bit eerie, like the wide, empty places where there's nothing but like snow and trees.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see any life, no humans, no animals. It kind of lends itself to the feeling of isolation, where it's like, yeah, these guys have to solve this problem themselves because there's going to be no help coming.
No, I had like a thought. I think I mentioned this to you. It's like Dawn of the Dead or like The Thing, but like as a Christmas movie, as a straight up Christmas movie, because I think people do like watching The Thing because it's a wintry movie, but like this is like a straight up Christmas movie that is Dawn of the Dead or The Thing, like kind of.
You do get the sense of isolation like in The Thing, like there's if we don't solve this problem ourselves, there's going to be no help.
Yep. Christmas Carol, favorite quotes?
All right, if you insist.
There's not a lot. I only have 2 of them.
I was going to say, I really couldn't find a whole lot, but...
So one I have is, I think it's Pietri's dad. It might be one of the other guys. It says, soon our freezers will be brimming with meat.
Yes, brimming with reindeer meat.
And then the other one I have is Pietri to Juso. He goes, when did you last get smacked?
Oh, a good anti-Russia dig joke. I don't know if you caught this, but when he's like, my wife's hairdryer was stolen from the bathroom to the sheriff when he's listing all the stuff that was taken from the house. The Almo guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah, my wife's hairdryer was stolen from the bathroom. The sheriff's like, who'd want an old piece of rubbish like that? And he's like, well, it's cutting edge technology in Russia.
That's a great line.
Because if we didn't mention it before, they're right on the border between Finland and Russia. And then literally like the border fence is there. That's what they cut the hole in.
Yeah, they're technically excavating in Russia.
Yeah. Which is why they're not supposed to go over there, but they cross the border anyway because they're so pissed off about the reindeer.
Any other quotes or?
Well,
there's not a ton of like great ones.
I was gonna say I thought the one I just did was pretty good, and the one about the real Santa being totally different or whatever. The Coca-Cola one is a hoax.
Yep. No, I did. I had thought about that line too. The the Coca-Cola one is a hoax.
Oh, when Mr. Green, when he gets the list of rules, like the wash behind your ears and everything, and he's like, "This is funny shit," and Mr. Riley's like, "It's Christmas time. Why don't we act like it?"
Oh man, so good. Some of that stuff was great, but yeah, just not like I don't know, nothing that like stands out as much as like some of the other movies.
Well, as I say, there was another Mr. Riley quote I had that was. Roll up your sleeves and prepare the dynamite. Do what you do best, men. You have a grave to rob. When he's giving his motivational speech. And what was that? Oh yeah, the one that stuck out to me when he speaks English to the elf for the first time, and he's like, "How do you like the land of the northern lights?"
There's another line too where I don't remember exactly what he says, but he's like tell him to get down when they're yelling at the Santa, and they're like and he's like, down boy, get down boy, like he said dog. I just thought that was such a funny line.
Oh, when Pietri's in the pen or whatever, and the elves all stop pursuing him suddenly. He's like, what happened? And Mr. Pipperin is like, it's the miracle of Christmas. Those were all I had.
Oh, man. No, it's just I don't know. Like we've had some movies with like amazing level of quotes, and I wonder if part of it's down to like translation.
Well, yeah, that's true. It's like in a movie where they're not speaking English, it is a lot harder to get quotes. But I mean, I found a few that were pretty funny. Like I said, that Russia joke, I've been chuckling at that since I rewatched the movie.
No, well, I think you and I made a joke like while we were watching it together. At one point, we were like, "Oh, Putin wants to excavate Santa.
Putin's gonna unleash Santa."
Let's do broken bulb, brilliant bulb. One
right.
thing you would fix, one thing you want to praise.
All right, well, I'll do my broken bulb. We don't get to actually ever see Santa. We just see a big block of ice with the horns and the switch sticking out. I would have at least liked to see him or whatever. You don't have to have him wake up and do anything, but maybe like a flashback to having them capture him or something, or just have when they blow the ice block open or whatever, actually see him or something.
No, I kind of agree with that. The yeah, just have like the ice maybe be like when they're like, oh, he's starting to wake up or something, because there's a moment where like the ice kind of shatters. Maybe you just get kind of like a brief image of him in the ice or something.
Like see a little bit of him, have like the ice be thinning out because it's being heated up, and you can like see a little bit inside. But yeah, it was kind of disappointing to never, because the entire movie's focused on this like cool Santa lore, like this weird take on Santa you don't usually see, and then you never even get to see him.
I had mine is kind of related in a weird way. There isn't a lot of CGI in the movie, but like the giant Santa ice block, but when it does, it kind of sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
Like I think there's a couple like aerial shots with the helicopter that kind of look a little cheesy, and the big Santa ice block.
They do their best to hide it, but I think it's probably just a symptom of the budget, because they really didn't have that much money to work with, and that's probably why you don't see Santa, I'm guessing, is because it was just not in the budget.
No, exactly. Like, I feel like I'm splitting hairs, like grabbing that one thing, but that was kind of my only complaint.
But yeah, I mean, it's in some points it's definitely not good CGI, but it has a little bit of a charm to it. It's not completely terrible.
No, I agree. And then kind of inversely, like my brilliant bulb is that all the practical stuff really looks good. Like
that was my brilliant bulb as well. They actually went out, did plenty of these practical effects, and they look really good, and they're going to keep looking good forever. You're not going to have to worry about this movie aging. I mean, it's already 14 years old,
and still looks good. Still has a pretty strong following. Yeah. I mean, and even it's filming on location, filming in Finland and Norway, I think is what we determined.
Well, it's like I just went and rewatched all the Lord of the Rings movies at Cinemark, and you could tell because they did as much as they possibly could with practical effects. It just holds up so much better. And it's like I think they were really thinking ahead with that, because it's like, if they had done like all these cheap horror movies do with their terrible CGI, people would be laughing at this by now, because 2010 cheap CGI would be terrible by today's standards.
I saw The Matrix the other day. I didn't like go out of my way, but it was on, and like I was kind of like looking around. And it was the big fight scene between Neo and Mr. Smith.
It's rough.
And it looks like GameCube graphics.
It's so bad.
At the time, we thought this was like state of the art.
Awesome.
And now I look at it, I'm like, I'm like, they probably used the same processor that a GameCube used to make these.
And it's like, it doesn't even have to be that way, because Jurassic Park will tie it all back. It's from 1993, but it has better CGI than The Matrix. It's like, I think it just comes down to how much you care about the effects when you're doing them, how much time you're going to invest in them. Because another Lord of the Rings reference, they have a lot of CGI in those movies, because there's some stuff you just would never be able to do practically. And it still looks good to this day, because they spent a lot of time on it.
No, like, I don't think either of you or I have seen an MCU movie in quite a while, but like, the one good piece of CGI in that movie that like I think fooled everyone was Black Panther's costume. Everyone thought Black Panther's costume was practical, and then like, oh no, that's CGI, and it's like, oh, like I think that fooled most people.
Well, it's like,
but it's like so many of those other things in those movies are just like, oh, it's pixels flying around on a screen.
Mm-hmm. Well, to me, it's like in a great movie with great CGI, the biggest compliment I think you can give it is wondering what's CGI and what's not. Mm-hmm. Like, there's a lot of people who are Godzilla -1 has really, really good CGI mixed with practical effects. and people can't tell which scenes are practical and which are CGI, which I think is just like a mark of quality.
No, I agree. I've not seen Godzilla -1, but I absolutely agree. Like when you can't tell what CGI and what isn't, I think that is what CGI should be and should be used for.
But yeah, no, very high praise to the effects team on this movie.
Was your Brilliant Bulb kind of the same
it was
thing?
The same, yeah. Just because it's so refreshing to see. I mean, because in a movie like this, the budget sense would tell you go with the cheap CGI because you could the $10,000 or $20,000 you probably could have CGI'd most of the practical effects that they did in this movie, and with the super cheap CGI, and it would have looked like crap. But I mean, at the end of the day, people probably still go see it. But no, they actually took the time to do it the right way, which I think is worth appreciating.
No, absolutely. I guess we're down to Christmas spirit. How Christmassy is the movie? How Christmassy are the kills?
It's the kills. I mean, we don't really get too many kills in this, mostly animal kills. I wouldn't say the kills are all that Christmassy, but the movie has a lot of Christmas spirit.
I would say we don't get a lot of kills, but the reason like the children are being stolen, and I mean the reason that the people who do get killed is because they aren't in expressly Christmassy ways, but they are being killed.
Well, they're being killed
for Christmassy reasons.
I was gonna say, that's what I'm saying. The movie has a lot of Christmas spirit about it. Like the reason that these people are dying is Christmas related, and it's got a lot of Christmas stuff around. I mean, our center of our plot device moving things forward is an advent calendar.
Yep.
But I think it is Christmassy, but I don't think the kills are particularly Christmassy.
No, but I had snow on the ground for one. Granted, I mean, it's Finland. There should be snow on the ground. Christmas lights at the around Pietri's farm.
Yeah.
Looks great. I love like it's not a lot. You can tell that they're probably not the most well off people, but they at least have strands of Christmas lights up. Looks really cool.
Well, and he does the Christmas cookies for his son, and he tries to do the ham, even though that doesn't work out too well.
But yeah, I'm certainly not knowing Finnish Christmas traditions. Like maybe they don't do Christmas trees in Finland for whatever reason. But yeah, what they do looks really cool.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have any trouble guessing what time of the year it is.
Yep. And then you see those lights and you're like, okay, like it doesn't go all the way out like some of the other movies we've had, but I mean it's certainly better than some of the other ones we've had.
Yeah. I mean, it's not you could say in a lot of these movies that Christmas is kind of like just an afterthought, but definitely it's central to the plot in this, and there's enough Christmas stuff around that it makes it feel like it's Christmas.
No, absolutely. I guess, do you want to move on to our final rating?
We might as well.
We rate these movies on one of three categories. Are they seasonally scary? Are they you'll be sorry? Or are they ho ho hilarious? Jeff, or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first.
All right.
For me, it was ho ho hilarious. It's got plenty of if you like deadpan humor, this is going to be a great movie for you. There's some decently funny lines. The kid, especially when the kids talk to each other, that's got a lot of funny stuff in it. And just the way that these guys are they're confronted with a supernatural force, and their first instinct is to use it to make a profit. They're like, clearly this old man is just healed from a wound that should have killed him, so we're going to dress him up in a Santa suit and try to sell him back to these American British researchers for $85,000 we lost on our reindeer.
No, I was gonna say the same thing. Ho ho ho, hilarious. The movie itself maybe not be it's not Santa's sleigh funny, which is a movie I'm going to reference again here in a little bit, but it is the premise is so silly.
Yes. The silly premise and like I said, it's not like a ha-ha movie. It's more of like an existentially funny movie.
Yeah.
Like the situation itself is funny.
No, exactly. It's one of those where you probably won't laugh too much watching it, but thinking about it as an afterthought, you'll be like, that was pretty silly. Remember that was pretty silly.
Well, and you might get some laughs at the end when they're doing the how to be a mall Santa classes.
But otherwise, I mean, there's a kind of a jump scare moment, and it is a little creepy. It does have a little kind of weirdness on the edges.
It's definitely a horror movie. I'll say that. It's got the creep factor. It's got jump scares, like you said. It's got the like the dread of the kid, you know, and he knows he's being stalked by what he thinks is Santa, but it's really the elf. And but it has like a comedic overtone to it, definitely.
No, it kind of rides that line, but yeah, it's certainly a ho 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 hilarious.
Yeah, for me, for sure.
So yeah, naughty list. Who do we want to put on the naughty list?
I mean, it would have to be the elf, the main elf.
I put Ancient Ice Block Santa ?
But I mean, Ancient Ice Block Santa really doesn't do anything, so I don't know if we could really put him on the naughty list.
But I mean, he's psychically controlling the elves, maybe? I don't know.
No one's really sure what he's doing.
Certainly, they kind of stop responding when they blow up Ancient Ice Block Santa.
Yeah, it's like they seem to be tied to him somehow. But yeah, I mean, he really doesn't. I mean, I guess if you want to say that he's the one responsible for them collecting the stuff from the village or whatever, but I mean, at the end of the day, only the weird research team gets injured, and none of the kids get killed or anything.
So here's what I was gonna say: the reason I was gonna go with Santa was I was like, this is Santa's sleigh. This is Bill Goldberg's Santa, but this movie is not played for laughs. I think directly where Santa like. But it's the same movie. I mean, in a lot of ways, it's Santa in that one. Santa is was forced to be good for a millennia or whatever. In this one, it's like, oh no, he's been trapped for all this time. Yeah. But like, oh no, now his evil is breaking free on Earth. The only difference is, this Santa only kills a handful of people, and it's kind of indirectly where. Yeah. Bill Goldberg Santa kills tons of people.
He kills lots of people, and with his own two hands.
So I was gonna say just put him directly, like this is kind of our directly below Santa's sleigh Bill Goldberg. Like,
well, I mean, he has an army of 198 elves, so I mean, I guess if you take it that way, that he's like controlling the elves directly, then I guess he's more powerful than Goldberg Santa.
But we just don't really see him do anything. Yeah, we don't see him at his full power. A lot of his evilness is in the past, but that's also with Bill Goldberg Santa. He did more evil in the past than he did.
He's very Sauron, like in The Lord of the Rings, which we'll tie back to again. He was very evil in the past, but now he's like confined to his tower, and he mostly does evil through his servants.
And he's a big eye.
Yeah, except he's not, but whatever. Peter Jackson, he did what he did. I'm not going to rehash that. It's like, why would you make, I guess just for the simplicity of the audience, but it's like in the book, Gollum literally says, Sauron was there. I saw him. He only had 9 fingers. He tortured me in a physical body. So it's like he's not a giant eye.
Oh man!
But whatever. That's not related to this. Maybe one of these stocking stuffers will have everything Jeff doesn't like about the Lord of the Rings movie adaptations.
We could probably fit that in at some point. And I'll just sit there and quietly nod.
Yes, Jay will nod, like he's going to do when we discuss Star Wars topics.
I'll sit there and quietly nod.
He's a medium Star Wars guy.
Does this one have Lando in it? But yeah, I figured maybe we put him maybe at the same level or around Bill Goldberg.
I agree. He's around a Goldberg Santa, I would say.
And then that way we can kind of loop the elf army in, so we kind of get mine and yours on the same kind of level.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's round up. We just finished that, so let's finish up something else. We got a bunch of candy that I have in my or a bunch of junk food I have in my cabinet in a segment we like to call
Garbage Day. Huh? No.
Oh no, he's got a bag that's so full of stuff.
All right, Jeff, are you ready?
No.
Okay.
There's so much stuff in there.
I got Sour Patch Kids ornaments. Have we done these yet?
We have not this year, I don't think.
All right. No, because last year we did the coal or whatever.
Yeah.
So I got those.
Oh boy.
I got Tate's Bake Shop dark chocolate and peppermint chocolate chip cookies. I've got Candy Cane Peeps.
I'll take those peeps.
All right. Back on the Pepperidge Farm train, we've got Pepperidge Farm Holiday Nog cookies.
Oh. Pepperidge Farm remembers.
I got us each a package of Holiday Favorites Jelly Bellies.
Ah.
And then... And then what would you say? The pièce de résistance.
Yep.
Not directly Christmas, but in Home Alone, Macaulay Culkin's character, Kevin McAllister, eats a brand of chips called Lay's Crunch Taters. And they brought them back last year, and I was never able to find them. And I found them this year in both original and mesquite barbecue flavor. Mighty mesquite.
Oh,
and it's got a gator on the front.
It's the Crunch Taters Gator, Jay.
And we're gonna try these out as well. Jeff's currently shoving a peep in his mouth.
It is a peep coated in candy cane.
All right, I'll crack open the holiday nog, Pepperidge Farms.
I'll go for the Tate's Bake Shop cookies.
Tate's are pretty good, I think. They're kind of they're more of a crunch or like a crispy cookie. I don't know if you've ever had a Tate's cookie.
I have not.
So these holiday nogs are kind of I think they're in the kind of the similar shape as the Pepperidge Farm Chessmen, but they're Christmas themed, and I guess it's assumed that they will be eggnog flavored.
The Tate's cookies are pretty good.
All right.
I like them. Let's try one of these nog flavored ones.
I think they're neither here nor there.
I was gonna say I'm not really getting any nogs. Basically, just shortbread.
Yeah, and they're not bad, but they're not anything to write home about. I get a little bit of eggnoggy flavor, but yeah, not much of it.
Maybe like a hint.
Yeah, let me try one of these Tates.
Those are good.
Very strong. I think it's a dark chocolate and peppermint chocolate chip cookie.
Very good. So for the Jelly Belly holiday mix, we have candy cane, cranberry sauce, pumpkin pie, eggnog, and hot chocolate.
Excellent. I will crack that open as well. No, I like that Tate's cookie.
Yeah, it's good.
I'd say the chocolate a little overpowering. You know, if we're trying to kind of rate these on our whole opinion, like I'd say the dark chocolate is a little stronger than I would like, but otherwise they're really good.
Not much eggnog flavor on the eggnog flavored jelly bean.
Oh yeah, I should probably sort out 5 different ones, right?
Might as well. A little bit of pumpkin on the pumpkin one, but not too much.
All right, there's candy cane. I think that's hot chocolate or maybe cranberry sauce.
A little, like, these have like a hint of the flavor, I think. Like the candy cane has a little hint of candy cane, but not really too much. Oh, there's a cranberry sauce.
All right, I think I got one each.
And I gotta do a hot chocolate. None of them are really all that strong flavor-wise.
I just did the candy cane.
I'd say it's definitely the strongest flavor out of them.
Yeah.
The rest of them really don't have a lot to them.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed. I thought these would be different than they are. No, compare these to the Tootsie Rolls we did. Those Harvest Tootsie Rolls. Like, those are way better than these.
Yeah, they are way better. Yeah. Not that impressed with them, honestly. So far, the best thing, I think, is the Tate's cookies.
Well,
but we still haven't got to the crunch tater.
Yeah, so far I've had the hot chocolate and the pumpkin pie. Neither of those are very good.
Yeah.
Like, they're not bad. It's just kind of sweet.
Yeah, it's just jelly beans.
Yeah.
There's really not a whole lot of flavor to them. And the Sour Patch Kids are Sour Patch Kids. I mean, they get what you get.
Yeah, they're red and green colored, and they're circles. They look like Christmas ornaments.
Yeah. It's more of a shape thing than a taste thing. No, I still think about those Harvest Tootsie Roll packs. Those are good.
I think I might still have some. I can give you some on your way out.
All right. say next year I'll definitely buy some more to have around.
The cranberry. I think the cranberry might be my favorite of the 5 Jelly Bellies. I think the peppermint was the strongest, but I think the cranberry had kind of the best flavor. The other 3 are kind of meh.
Meh. Yeah.
All right, I'll grab one of each of the Sour Patch Kids.
No, like I said, Sour Patch Kids. You know what they taste like. You either like them or you don't.
Yeah, it's just lime and red berry or whatever.
Yeah, it would have. Honestly, it would have been cool if they did like a candy cane flavor for the red one.
That would be really cool. We should write in. I don't know how we would, but. And then one last thing, I'll grab a peep.
I'm going in on these peeps.
And then I'll hand Jeff one bag of crunch taters, and we'll
go ahead with the second peep.
We'll start crunching. Start tatering? I don't know. Start gatoring.
Yep, we're gonna start gatoring the taters. I mean, it's a peep coated in candy cane dust. You get what you get. It's not bad.
It's not bad. Honestly, I'd consider maybe putting that in hot chocolate or something. Like maybe that's the way to go with those. But
yeah, that could work.
All right, Jeff.
Want me to do original or mesquite first?
Here, you can do original. I'll do mighty mesquite.
All right. Crunch gator, here we come.
Yeah, we got a gator. Just kind of a generic gator eating a crunch tater on the front. But then mine's got a cowboy hat, and he's sitting by a campfire.
They're Lay's kettle chips.
I had to go to Dollar General to find these.
I mean, it's not a bad kettle cooked chip. Decent.
I'd say maybe they're a little better than the kettle chips. Like maybe it's just the packaging. Maybe there's something subconscious about it. But like I think I do feel like they taste a little better. But
no, they are good. They're definitely a kettle cooked chip.
Honestly, I really like that original. I think the mesquite is solid, but I really like that original flavor.
I like them both. Both good.
Do we want to rank these?
Jelly beans at the bottom for me because they're disappointing.
I agree.
Sour Patch Kids after that probably because they're just Sour Patch Kids.
I also agree.
Probably Peeps after that.
I think I'd maybe put the holiday nog cookies. I don't really like chessmen. But I don't know. Not the best.
I mean, I could take or leave the cookies too, so either position would be fine with me.
But yeah, I think it would be the Peeps and the holiday nog cookies probably
around the same level. Then the Tate's cookies for me, they're pretty good.
Yeah.
And then I think my favorite's probably the Crunch Gators.
Yeah, I know those are really good. I mean, like you said, I think they are kettle cooked, but I do think they have maybe a little extra crunch to them.
They're a little bit different, yeah. Maybe they were like double fried or something.
Yeah, but no, those are really tasty. Like I said, they came out last year. I was unable to track them down, and I just could not find them anywhere. And then this year, constantly mentioned on the show, Dinosaur Dracula, posted a image of them in a Dollar General, one of those hand baskets.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, I should go check Dollar General. And so I ran there the other day and I was able to find them.
Well, yeah, I'd say I'm glad you did because they're pretty good.
Yeah, and like I said, I think this is the second year they've brought them back. They say limited time only. I assume they bring them back strictly for
Christmas.
Christmas because of that Home Alone tie-in. That's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah,
but they're pretty solid.
I like them.
But yeah, if you want to participate in our Garbage Day segment, send us an email, horrorfortheholidays@gmail.com. If you want to get in touch with us on social media, we're on Blue Sky. We're on Twitter. X, formerly known as Twitter, I think Threads, is what the name is. We're on Threads. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. We're at horror4holidays.
We're on YouTube, youtube.com/horrorfortheholidays. Drop us a comment, subscribe, hit the bell, do all the things. Yeah, I think
we got a couple comments on some recent episodes I saw.
Yeah, we got we actually passed 1,000 downloads on Apple Podcasts too.
Oh, very cool. So yeah, we're getting there.
We're getting some stuff done.
And if you want to, I mean, what helps I think more than anything is word of mouth. Telling a friend, telling someone you think would like the podcast.
Definitely.
I know we sent out some business cards with our information to Matt Dupay, and he said he's been handing them out to people. Yeah.
Which
but
we
I've,
always appreciate.
and I've given some to like other people. Like I left some at the haunt when I went there for the Krampus event. And I gave, I think I for right around Christmas time, I went down to the gas station that is featured in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I gave a business card to the guy who worked there. So maybe he's listening.
He might be. Who knows?
And so yeah, I brought them to every movie we went and saw, but we never really talked to anybody. So,
Well, you know,
which whatever. We're not expecting people, but yeah,
one day we'll get over our crippling shyness.
But yeah, subscribe on your podcatcher. Give us a 5-star review there. I think both 5 stars, and leave a comment.
Yep, do 5 stars. Be like, Jeff and Jay fat. Jeff and Jay stop eating into the mic. Jeff and Jay, the garbage day segment is tired.
Jeff and Jay, don't you know Silent Night, Deadly Night 2 is a bad movie? Why do you use the garbage? Garbage Day does not make that movie good. Well, too bad. This is our podcast, and we're going to do what we're going to do.
We do what we want. It's not saying we won't take your suggestions into account. If you want to shoot us an email with a movie you'd like us to watch or something, we'd definitely consider it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'd appreciate that. Or, yeah, it's certainly better than using the Q app where we spin the wheel.
Well, you know, Jay, it's been getting tiring trying to follow Q. There's so many different branches and things now, it's just hard to keep track of.
But otherwise, I think most importantly, thanks for listening. Thanks for sticking with us. We're trying new stuff. We have a different setup for this episode, so we're seeing how that works. Which I think it's going okay right now. Yeah. And then otherwise, yeah, we're moving along. We're working on maybe moving into more frequent episodes. And hopefully here in the new year we can maybe work out a formula where maybe we can do weekly stuff. We'll see.
Yeah, we should be able to.
But otherwise, thanks for listening. We'll see you again in 2 weeks, and bye.
Goodbye.